Well, good morning. It's day 3 out here in the Sipsey. It was a cold one. I would say about 28 or so. Nothing like up in the Northeast, but for Alabama, that was cold. But I'm down here at the Sipsey Fork Creek, looking back behind me as the water goes passing by, and this beautiful water. It's so clear, you can see everything. Most of it is a green-blue tint, but here it's a little different with all the sandy bottoms. I just had a peaceful night, but tossing and turning some because of the cold, trying to find a good place. If you've ever dealt with a quilt or sleeping bag that has those pull ties that keeps the sleeping bag close to you, I kept pulling that thing, and then the cord would get wrapped around my head and I let it go. It just could never get comfortable. All in all, peaceful night. But anyway, we'll get started. We're going to explore some more waterfalls today, kind of saunter around and see what's up, see what we can find. That's what's so cool about Sipsey Wilderness. You can just kind of explore all sorts of crazy places that people usually don't see. All right, let's get started. You know it's cold during the night when this is your socks. Hard as a rock. Starting hiking on day 3, coming out of camp. Cold night. Heading down by the Sipsey Fork. We're gonna check out the West B and East B branch with the waterfalls there. Go to some different trails, just kind of explore around. You can see we'll be going by the Sipsey Fork. Such a beautiful creek. The water is just absolutely gorgeous. We'll see what we got in store for today. It's cold. Right at freezing. I need something on my ears. Okay, it's day 3, so it's time for some quotes. I got some more quotes for you. What is your favorite quote? I asked you to comment below. Keep it PG-13 if you can. But here's some quotes I have for today. This one is by Helen Keller. Helen Keller said, "The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt by the heart." That's Helen Keller. What an inspiration she was. Here's one by Anne Frank. She said, "Whoever is happy will make others happy too." That's something I really need to do. I need to be happy, and I need to make others happy. I think by making others happy, we become happy. There's your quotes for the day. Now back to the trail. We got to a little trail junction. I wanted to point that out here on day 3, and Squidly's got the 411 on it.
All right, at this point where you see the sign that says 209, and Crow can show that. At this point, if you continue straight, which really feels like you're on the same trail, it becomes 206, and 209 goes across Sipsey Fork.
There's 209 going up there.
It goes up the hill to meet 201, which will take you back to the Randolph Trailhead.
And now we begin 206. So, numbers aplenty in the Sipsey wilderness. Well, if I knew the lyrics to Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles, or was it John Lennon? I can't remember. I think it was the Beatles. Whoever. I stopped and thought of that because look at that. That's glorious. We hadn't seen that in a while. The sun is out and Squidly and I are walking in the sun. So, here comes the sun, and I don't know the rest of the lyrics. Squidly and I made it to this sign that says 206. You can see it here. Years ago, me and some buddies were camping out here in the Sipsey, and we thought, based on the carto maps that I had, that you could cross the, what is this, the Sipsey Fork?
Sipsey Fork.
We thought you could cross the Sipsey Fork right here. It looked like on the maps you could, but you cannot. Well, you could try, but you'd be swimming. You have to go back that way to cross earlier on 206, closer to the rapid area. So just a point of reference, if you're ever on 206 and think that you can cross on the other side, it's hard to do. So what you're looking at now is what's been commonly referred to as shiprock, because it looks like the, well, you're a Navy man, Squidly. Is that the bow or stern?
That's the bow.
So that's the bow of that rock would be, the bow would be, look like a ship, so it's called shiprock. There's also something called Eye of the Needle, which I think is over here on this side, and we're gonna walk up to that. But Squidly said that there is no way up to shiprock. It's, unless you're some sort of climber like that guy that did Yosemite without any ropes. That's the only way you could probably get up there. But it's a beautiful rock. Now you can see Eye of the Needle right there. Up there is shiprock. I think, yeah, that's shiprock. And then down here is Eye of the Needle. And we're about to walk up there and take a look at the view from that side. We already came through from the other side of this, and now we're on the back side, or the front side, depending on your perspective, I guess. And there is the Eye of the Needle behind me, looking down. Really cool. We have made it to a junction, but not really a junction. This is 206, and we continued on 206, but this is what Squidly tells me is a shortcut.
Yeah, it's a White Oak Hollow shortcut.
So this way you can get to Bee Branch and get to Bee Branch and up there to the falls, but we're not heading that way because there's a sketchy, Squidly said there's a sketchy part, right?
Yeah, there's a place that's a little bit sketchy, and if it's been dry, it's okay. But we've had some rain, and I'm just afraid it's going to be really slick and difficult, and I'd like to not die on this trip.
We made it to Thompson Creek Trailhead, And there's this really cool bridge you go across. Take a look at this. Isn't that neat? It's an old school bridge. I better be careful walking backwards. I'm not that dexterity anymore, but there's the bridge. So cool. I'll let you take a look at the bridge. All right, so at the bridge, now we're gonna take 208, and essentially what we're gonna take from here on out up to B Branch are old roads that were claimed by the Forest Service when this became a wilderness area. And so they're a little wider trails because they used to be a road, but this is basically a horse trail now that would go straight up, and we're gonna head up to B Branch, West B, East B, and see the big falls up there where the big tree is. So that's where we're heading now. Stick around. Squidly and I are now on Trail 208. You've seen Thompson's Bridge Trailhead. We ate lunch there. And Squidly brought Snyder's honey, mustard, and onion pretzels. Those things are absolutely fabulous. Let's see, here he is. He's got them in his hand right now, eating them on the trail. Those things are, that is some trail food right there. So we're heading up the trail and trying to get to B Branch and to the falls up there, and we'll find our camp. And we were told by some day hikers, because we haven't had signal here in 3 days, that there is about a 40% chance of rain, and then the chance goes higher in the percentages as the day goes on. So we probably will be camping tonight in the rain. We're trying to get to the campsite before the rain starts. All right, here's 3 more quotes for the day, and that'll be the last quotes for this video today. From Robert Louis Stevenson: "Don't judge each day by the harvest that you reap, but by the seeds that you plant." I like that one a lot. And lastly, from Franklin D. Roosevelt. He says, "When you reach the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on." The 206 trail is absolutely cool to me. It's wide because it's a horse trail, but it also climbs up to a ridge, and then you kind of a little bit of a roller coaster up and down until you get on this ridge, and then you can just move across it. And then there's valleys down on either side, which are really cool to see. It's just a really nice trail, and you can go fast on it because it's wide and it's flat on the ridge. Sometimes it's cool just to put your head down and go. We've made our way to another junction. We were on 208, and then we got on 224, and now we're gonna be on 204. If you've seen my other videos of the Sipsey, you remember I couldn't remember the numbers, and I still have problems with the numbers. But this is 204, and then we're gonna get on 204A in a minute to go to the waterfall. But somewhere we're gonna camp close to the waterfall in just a minute. Well, we made it to the last junction for today, and that is, if you can see it, 204. Not a really good sign. 204. 204 goes that way, but we're going 204A. I think there's an A somewhere in there. And down here, there's this little marker that has a point. It says B and tree. So it's going to the big tree, which is that big poplar that I think is the largest in Alabama. Maybe larger than that, I don't know. And this huge waterfall that is absolutely gorgeous. So we're gonna set up camp, and then we're gonna go to the waterfall. We'll see you there. Well, we set up camp, and we are at B Branch, or the falls at B Branch. I don't really know what it's called, but I don't know if you can see behind me. And it doesn't do it justice, but it is off a cliff here. And I gotta be very careful because this makes me very nervous.
but I'll let you check it out and see what I'm looking at. It's amazing. I don't know if you can see it, but that tree right there is the largest poplar in Alabama, at least as far as I know. Maybe, I don't know, but that's what I've heard. And that is really high because below here is a cliff. And hopefully, if I can make it, I'm gonna go down this, Squidly calls it Wrong Step You Die trail. And we're gonna go down and take a look at the tree from the bottom. If you don't see that video, it's because I decided not to go down. Here we are at the big tree, the big poplar. Can't give you justice with this little camera of how big this thing is. It is freaking massive. So the falls are over there. I'll take a look down there at the falls, but I'll try to get my arms around this tree. Won't get very far.
By a tornado.
That is one massive yellow poplar. It is so big. I can't get my arms even 10% of it. Now let's take a look at the falls. Absolutely gorgeous down here. The falls at B Branch. We're camping right above here, a little ways away. And time to get some water. We got to filter some water and get back to camp. Hopefully all our stuff is still there. And then hopefully the rain holds off for a little bit longer. But it does look like it's coming. We went down to the B Falls, or the B Branch where the falls are. And when we came back through, I noticed this really nice campsite. If you can see it, nice fire ring over here. And then I noticed something else and I wanted to show it to you. Now, how would you have liked to have been camping right here when that tree went down? Boy, that would have made for a rough night. Well, there's our camp for tonight. We're on top of B Branch and the falls. Way up on top here. And we successfully made it down to the falls and back up without it raining on us. Well, it's starting to rain. I've got my tarp set up in the 8-foot way, not the 10-foot way. So I'm praying that the rain is not a downpour and wind blowing in and out, because that would be a problem for the tarp and bivvy setup. Well, I'm gonna cook dinner because I don't know what this rain's gonna do under the tarp, and probably then call it a night. Thank you guys so much for watching As the Crow Flies Hiking. This will be the end of day 3, and we'll do some cool stuff tomorrow on day 4. It's been a fun time in the Sipsey. I appreciate Gone Feral with Squidly showing me around some places I've never seen before. We'll check in tomorrow. Thank you for watching.